I don't know what happened. We had like a little bit of a, I don't know if it was a power thing or what happened. We lost the connection for a second. I hope everyone can come back on. I hope we can get James back on. I see people are coming back in. I don't know what happened there. Here, I see James. Let me bring him back in.
That was
I don't know
strange.
what happened. I don't know if it was me or I got excited or something. There was a power glitch. I saw it glitch for a second. So one of the things that I wanted to ask you about, because we talked about this at length, James, and it's really, really important. And I apologize, guys. I don't know really what happened there. Either I touched something that I shouldn't have, and I don't think I did, or there was a little bit of a power surge. But let me talk to you about this because we discussed it on the call. PSA Pop Reports. Um, you know, PSA has these pop reports where they kind of are dictating how many tickets are, quote, in existence. But James, I mean, you just showed us how many 4192 Pete Rose tickets, and they're not in the pop report. So
Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, this Tom Seaver no hitter. I have at least 8 of those, and the bench and some of these 44 game hitting streak. Well, his 44 game, I have 36 stubs and 4 fulls from that one, and of course they're all ungraded too. So
yeah, so I mean, again, just be careful, everyone, when you start to think or talk about pop report, because if you think that you're buying something that's a pop one or a pop two, there might be a guy like James sitting somewhere in Philadelphia or in Cincinnati or in wherever, and you just don't know. You just don't know. Someone here saying, yeah, like there's 3 different dates for certain tickets, not 1 but 3. Why would they have 3? So I mean, I guess there's a lot of questions that kind of comes from that. So you showed us the Pete Rose debut, and we kind of glossed over it. I mean, that's become a very collectible ticket, James. I mean,
yeah,
people really desire it. And I think anyone that has Pete Rose debut tickets that are signed, and I know Mark Mader's got a couple. I think he has a full and a stub. Now that he's deceased, I think those are super incredibly desirable.
yeah. And that's something I never did with mine. It was kind of like with I collected baseball cards for years too. I have all the sets back to 1970, but I have the Rose rookie card as well too. But yeah, that's something that I forget what I was going to say there now. Yeah,
Well,
but
I
that,
mean, no one's going to get it signed anymore, so they're pretty
yeah,
rare.
and the thing with me was back then I thought it was defacing like the baseball card, and when they first started doing ticket stubs, I thought it was defacing it too. Obviously now the signatures really add a lot of value and everything else. But again, that's something that I don't collect. I know a lot of people do. They like to get them signed and everything else, which really adds value and makes it really interesting, especially when you get to meet the person and talk to them about it. Because Rose used to do those meet and greets out in Las Vegas all the time, and that was the best 100 or 150 bucks I spent. I got to spend 5 minutes with him and telling him about my collection. And of course, he knew where, when I mentioned the town, he knows every little town in Ohio and everything else. But the most interesting thing that I wish I really had recorded, because they did take a lot of pictures for me while I was there, was I told him about my collection. And after we were all done and everything, I was starting to leave. I was walking away. He looked up with a little smirk in his face and he goes, "I'm sorry I got so many hits."
That sounds just like Pete.
Yeah.
I saw Justin Sutterfield popped in and he said Ohtani for president. Man, Justin, you missed the beginning and we had a little technical glitch, but we're not talking politics tonight. We're taking a vacation tonight from politics. We just are going to talk tickets, but yeah, go Dodgers is right. And I see someone here, hefty_lefty17. And like I said, a lot of nice things about James. James helped me to get a Todd Helton debut ticket, which is his first hit and first home run. So kudos to you, Hefty Lefty, and kudos to you, James.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting story. My nephew, I actually went to the Hall of Fame this year for my first induction ever. I always said I was going to go when Rose got inducted. That's a whole nother story. But I went with my nephew this year because he was a Todd Helton fan. And the only reason I had some Todd Helton tickets was because he wanted it. And he, most likely this person got a ticket stub because I gave him a full ticket and I said, you got to put this in a sleeve and protect this. This is pretty valuable, a full ticket from his debut. So
Yeah.
that's kind of a little side story on that. But yeah, it's been great. People have helped me and I've been able to help out people. I mean, I have thousands and thousands and thousands of extra tickets. I keep spreadsheets on all of them. So when somebody sends me a message, I had one the other day of somebody's wife was born on a certain date and I had that ticket. And I just have, thousands of them because of all the collections that I used to buy early on.
So let me ask you this, and then we'll kind of switch gears. I want to just go back to it real quick. That Pete Rose first hit ticket, what do you think the value is on that, James?
I asked the guy, I forget his name. I should know his name. He owns Sports Memorabilia in Cincinnati. He used to own the car and the bat and the ball from Rose's 4,192nd hit. And I asked him about it. This was before he passed away about a year ago. And he goes, James, I think that one, the sky's the limit. It would go probably anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000. So I have no idea. And that's probably out of my range. And especially since it's being recorded, I better be careful what I say.
We don't want evidence to be used against you in the future, James. I know. So I see Justin here says, he spent some time with Pete because he was out in Vegas, and he said Koufax was by far the toughest pitcher he had to face, and I think many major league hitters would probably say the same thing. So I kind of advertised a little bit about this, and we're getting to about a half hour. So let's hit on this subject, and then let's run the gauntlet with you, Mr. Nolan. Tell us a little bit about eBay 20, 25 years ago. Was it kind of like the Wild Wild West? Was it anything you wanted, like fishing in a barrel, or what?
Oh, it was like going to a flea market or a garage sale. You could get such great deals. I mean, I bought oh man, I couldn't even tell you years ago. It would be like I'm sure people were excited. They would list like almost like a whole complete set of Reds tickets from a year. And they were probably ecstatic. They got $100 for them or something like that, or $50 for them, especially if they're ripped up. I'm like, well, I got to go to the game and this silly person just paid me $100 or $150 for them and all that. So it was, you could find a lot of great deals. I mean, you can still find them now, but it's really rare and hard to find that now. You just don't get that lucky anymore.
Yeah, I think people have kind of caught on. Of course, there's a lot more people who are buying the tickets, and then I think sellers are more astute. I don't think you're going to have those people that are just like, oh yeah, I've got these ripped old Reds tickets. I'm just going to give them away for $1 a piece. That doesn't happen so much anymore. Do you remember ever like any big eBay finds, like finding where'd you find that Pete Rose debut? Was that just in a mix of a lot of Reds tickets, or was that something that was the seller knew what it was?
Actually, his debut, and I don't remember now because I got it years ago. It was actually a trade. Someone traded to me for a Nolan Ryan game. I had a game that he pitched in early on in his career, and I don't remember which one because, like I said, I have no regrets of anything I ever bought or anything I ever traded or anything like that. So it was a good deal for me at the time, and it was a good deal for him at the time. Probably looking at it now, I probably have won out on that deal. But again, I'm not selling my ticket, so it's irrelevant. It was a trade. No money was exchanged. But I will show you a couple here. I have got these in some auctions. This is May 17th. Rose got a hit, 1970. Here's another different variation. And here is a full ticket from that game, May 17th, 1970. Rose got a hit, and it also just happened to be Hank Aaron's 3,000th hit. So that one, I actually had 2 full tickets, and that's probably the only one I should get graded. I had two full tickets, and probably about 10 years ago, somebody was collecting 3,000 hit tickets and really wanted it, knew I had it. And at the time, this is probably 10 years ago, I know I sold it for several $1,000s, but I don't know what the value on that would be now.
Yeah, that's a sweet, sweet ticket. I mean, an Aaron 3000 hit full, that would do very, very well now. So kudos to you. I know we talked a little bit about it. So probably you said your top 5 Rose tickets are the debut. You have some of his milestone hits, 3000 hit, 4000 hit, and then I think you told me really rare was his final hit, 4256.
Yeah, that one, I just have a couple here. They both happen to be season tickets, green ones. I think I have 4 or 5 of those. Those, because he never announced that that was going to be his last game. So those were harder to find. And the ironic thing about that is that's August 14th. He got 3 hits, including his final hit. 3 days early on August 11th, he actually had 5 hits. And that was his 10th and final game on 5 hits. And then his very, very last game was August 17th when he struck out against Goose Gossage. And those 86, they're tough. There was a auction on eBay because in August was also Barry Larkins. I forget the date off the top of my head, August 12th or 15th. It wasn't one of those I just showed you. And I was interested in that lot because it had a lot of different ones in there. And because there's 2 Larkin debuts, it ended up selling for several $1,000s, which I was astonished by that price for a Larkin debut. So and the Reds weren't as good then. So I don't know. For whatever reason, they were just tough to get in 86, the tickets.
Well, I see here Justin's looking to make a deal. You know that Sutterfield guy, Kobe _ Ruth _ He's looking for your 3000 hit stub ticket, James. So watch out. We're making deals on Stub Luv Live. So reach out to Justin if you're looking to move it. So we have a part of the show that's called the Gauntlet. It's kind of quick fire questions and quick fire answers. You don't get to know what they are. We try to make them fun and enjoyable. And let's kind of close this out with the Gauntlet. So we kind of always start with some of them, which is stub or full.
Stub, because you went to the game.
Yeah.
It was used.
Okay. PSA, Beckett, or no slab at all?
No slab.
I could tell that was coming. A ticket that's a Pop 1 or a ticket that's in a dynamite grade, dynamite condition.
Condition. Don't care about Pop reports.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good for you. Who do you hate more, Bart Giamatti or Dan Dowd?
Oh my goodness. Both. I can't pick.
That's the perfect answer. Who should Pete Rose hate more? Who should hate Pete Rose more? Ray Fosse or Bud Harrelson?
Oh, Fosse.
Yeah.
That hurt his career.
Destroyed his career, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he had dinner with him the night before, too. That's an ironic thing.
Yeah. So if anyone doesn't know, we're talking about the collision at home plate during the 1970 All-Star game, where Pete, being Pete, basically ran right into the catcher, Ray Fosse, and basically ruined his career. Who makes the Hall of Fame first, Pete Rose or Barry Bonds?
Well, my answer to that one, probably never either one of them. But my answer to that one is it has been this way for years. I go to the Hall of Fame several times a year. I'm a Hall of Fame member and everything else. Phillies uniform, bat, glove, ball, Expos stuff. There's all kinds of stuff. Rose is in the Hall of Fame. There's just the area where they'll have all the plaques. I can't ever find his plaque over there. So
you're basically saying he's almost a presence there, even without being a member.
Yeah, I'm joking, but yeah, I mean, it is sad, but yeah, I don't think Barry Bonds ever will, and personally, I don't think Rose ever will either. I mean, there was an interview with him a few months before he passed, and he even said that He goes, after I'm dead, why would they want to put me in the Hall of Fame then? Because I'm not here, and my family, okay, but I'm the one that got all the hits, and they didn't do anything. And so, Pete was being Pete on that one. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, look, I'm going to say this. I'm a huge Pete Rose fan. I mean, I loved him with the Phillies. I hope one day, even though he's no longer with us, and I miss Pete.
yeah,
Pete's great for baseball, and I hope he gets in. He deserves it.
yeah. Between the white lines, he was absolutely phenomenal as a baseball player. Off the field, hey, he had his problems and everything else. But somebody did mention to me, I was always a firm believer, like, hey, he always bet on the Reds to win. But then somebody said, well, he could tip off people if he didn't bet on the Reds that night. You could bet against the Reds because he wasn't betting on that night. It's like, oh, well, yeah, that's kind of true too. Sorry, I wish he would have bet on the Reds every night.
Right. No, I hear you. I agree. I agree. What's a weirder thing to see? Babe Ruth in a Braves uniform or Pete Rose in an Expos uniform?
I guess I got used to Rose in an Expo uniform, so I'll go with Ruth with the Braves.
I think they're both pretty weird.
Yes.
And the final question, James, is Charlie Hustle the best nickname in baseball history?
Oh my goodness. Me being a Pete Rose fan, I'll have to say yes, but I'm sure I'm going to get some people tell me that wasn't good, and they're going to tell me somebody else.
I think Charlie Hustle's a great name for a great
Yep.
player. James Nolan, thank you so much for being on Stub Luv Live. Sorry that we had that little technical glitch. Anyone that wants to reach out to James, he's a presence on Boogers. You can message him on Facebook. He also has that website that he talked about, redscincinnati.com. So with that being said, episode 40 of Stub Luv Live is out. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and thank you, James, for coming on. Very nice having you.
Thank you for having me. It was a wonderful time. Take
Enjoy.
care.
Thank you. Have a good night. Bye-bye.